B'chol yom v'yom Mordechai misalef l'fnei Chatzar Beis Hanoshim l'das et Shloim Esther u'ma ya'aseh bar. Mordechai every day would walk in the Chatzar Beis Hanoshim to know how Esther was. Why was he curious? So Rashi says, Shenitn le remes. He understood there was a remes min hashamayim. He understood that it had to be Sheyi Yeshua al Yod. That the Eibush is going to bring Yeshua through Esther. Amar Mordechai, lo irid le tzaddik yezu shetilokach la'Achashverosh. It would have never happened that this tzaddik should be taken to Achashverosh. Ela she'asida lakum l'shir l'Yisrael. It must be that there's a Yeshua going to come out through her for Klal Yisrael. That's why he stood in the Chatzar Beis Hanoshim. He wanted to know how this is going to play out, because he was sure that through Esther is going to come Yeshua to Klal Yisrael. That's one Rashi. That's Pasuk Yud Aleph. In Pasuk Yud, it says, "Lo higida Esther es amo ve'es v'ladeta ki Mordechai tziva la asher lo yisagid." Mordechai told her that she shouldn't tell where she came from, because she came from royalty, and if Achashverosh would know that she came from royalty, he would definitely take her as a queen. And he wanted Achashverosh to assume that she came from some kind of mishpacha bezuya, and who's not roy from Malchus. So Rashi says, "Kidei sheyoyim she mishpacha bezuya." He should say that she's from a simple family, v'yishalcha, and he should send her away. If Achashverosh realized that she comes from Shol HaMelech, they would definitely want that she's royalty. These Rashis seem to be contradictory. Mordechai understood a remes. He understood that she belongs in Beis Achashverosh. The reason why she was there is it couldn't be for no other reason but there will be Yeshua through her. And he understood that. And he wanted to know how it's going to play out at the end. At this Mitzad Sheni, he's trying to get her out of there. He's doing things to make her leave. He's telling her not to tell Achashverosh where you come from, in order Achashverosh should assume that she's a mishpacha b'zuya, and Achashverosh should chase her away. What does he want over here? Does he want the Yeshua should come through her, or does he want her out of the Malchus Beis Achashverosh? He's, so to say, thwarting the plans of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seems to be a contradiction. This Shaila was asked by Rabbi Feinstein. He asked it to the Brisker Rav. Rabbi Feinstein was the son-in-law of the Brisker Rav, and he asked the Brisker Rav this Shaila. And he gave it teretz. The Brisker Rav praised the teretz. The same Shaila I found in the Sefer of Rav Henoch Leibovich, the Rosh Yeshiva, the Zecher Tzadik L'Rosh, Rosh Yeshiva of Chavis Chaim. He asked the same kasha and gave the same teretz. The gist of the teretz was as follows. The Milsa said like this: Remes min hashamayim. He saw that the Eibush is probably going to make Yeshua through this lady. It was Remes min hashamayim. Says, but the halacha is that she's not allowed to live with the guy. Biyas Akim is awesome. She's not allowed to live with the guy. A Remes Shishmayim is good. I'm not in business over here to take care of the Eibishter. I don't have to bring him revachim. I don't have to do anything for the Eibishter benefits. He can take care of himself. If the Yeshua doesn't come through her, Yeshua will come through somebody else. It's not my business to make revachim for the Eibishter. I have to do what's state in Shulchan Aruch. In Shulchan Aruch state that she's not allowed to be nivel la'akum. My job is to get her out of there. What's going to be? Where's the Yeshua going to come from? It's not my daigya. That's the Eibishter's daigya. You don't paskin from Ramazim Nishamayim. You paskin halachas from Shulchan Aruch. In Shulchan Aruch state she's not allowed to be there. I have to get her out. Boss it's the Eibishter's world. He can take care of it. Reva Fatzola Yamin Lilhudim and Makam Acher. Action Gefinanates. But that's not gonna make Mordechai decide what he has to do. I found it in his sefer. I just want to read you what he says. I don't usually read, but it's a Yesod Dog. It says Mordechai's behavior seems contradictory. If he had a clear sign from heaven that Esther was destined to save the Jewish people from future destruction, Why was he so insistent on getting removed from such an influential position? Wasn't Mordechai sabotaging the divine plan to save the Jewish people? Mordechai's action teaches us a basic lesson in human conduct. Our concern for any important cause, even the salvation of the Jewish people, must be channeled with the guidelines of Torah law. Hashem oversees the world, determining the fates of empires, nations, kings, presidents, nobility, and ordinary people. He commands us to follow the Torah as embodied in Halacha and the Shulchan Aruch. Mordechai was faced with a halachic obligation to rescue Esther from Achashverosh and safeguard her both physically and spiritually. If Hashem would frustrate his efforts, that would be Hashem's will, but Mordechai had to try. If Mordechai would have succeeded, Hashem had no shortage of other methods to save his chosen people. The sign from heaven was surely significant in Mordechai's eyes, and he kept a watch to see the outcome, but Allah is not determined by heavenly signs of salvation or from future danger. Mordechai would follow the Shulchan Aruch, and Hashem would take care of saving the Jewish people. The sole criterion in determining our conduct should be the requirements of Allah. No matter how noble or weighty the cause, we must view it according to Torah standards, only then act upon it. The world and Jewish people are under the watchful eye of Hashem, and we must do our utmost to follow His will. We're not in business to take care of the Eibishter. He'll take care of himself. We have to do B'shtei Shulchan Aruch. What's the time? Rev Batzol Yavner L'Hudon Lokamah. What?
Majesty of man?
The Majesty of Man, that one. And Rav Michal said the same shot to the Brisker Rav, and when Brisker Rav heard it, he praised it a lot. It's his style of Brisker Rav. And he brought a raya, Rav Michal, from a Gemara. The Gemara says in Brachos, Chizkiyo got very sick. And Yeshaya Navi comes over to him and says, Meis atam v'lo tichta, you're going to die. You're not going to live. He says, why? So Yeshaya told him, because you don't want to get married. You're staying single, you don't want to get married. So Chizkiyo tells Yeshaya, the reason why I don't get married is because I see from my offspring is going to be born, one of my offspring is going to be Menashe HaMelech. Menashe HaMelech, he was Oived Avodah Zarah, he was Chayta Machdas HaRav, he was Oived Avodah Zarah. I want to make sure that that person doesn't come into the world. So I'm not getting married in order to spare Klal Yisrael that tsar of going through the kingdom of Menashe HaMelech. That's what he told Yeshaya Navi. Yeshaya Navi tells him the famous words, "B'kadekavshir Rachmana Lomalach, b'ademifkede iboyach le'lemevet, u'madenichele kamikuchibrichu hu levet." B'kadekavshir Rachmana Lomalach. You don't have to make cheshbonis for the Eibishter. You want to make sure that Menashe HaMelech doesn't come in the world, so you're not going to get married. B'ademifkede iboyach le'lemevet. You have to do what you have to do. If you have to get married, then you have to get married. Whatever the Eibishter has to do, he'll do. We're not here to make sure and save the Eibishter, the so to say, Agmas Nefesh, of having to deal with the Menashe HaMelech with Klal Yisrael. That's the Eibishter's time. It's his work. You have to do what you have to do, and the Eibishter has to do what he has to do. The halacha is das chasna. You have to get married. What's the time? That's up to the Eibishter. What's the time? But the decision-making process is not remuslim from the Eibishter. The decision-making process is the Halacha and Shulchan Aruch. We find a similar thing by Tamar. Tamar knew Baruch HaKodesh that from Yehuda is going to come out David HaMelech, Melech HaMashiach. She knew it all. When she was pregnant, the Chazal tell us, she would pat her stomach. I'm pregnant with kings. I'm pregnant with redeemers. I'm holding on the future of Melech HaMashiach. That's what I'm carrying. I'm carrying Melech HaMashiach. So she knew what she was carrying. And when it came time with Tzia V'Tisarif, when Yehuda said that she has to be burned, she didn't embarrass Yehuda. She refused to say that it was Yehuda who got her pregnant. Why? Because there's halach. It's better to have yourself thrown into a kivshin ha'esh and not embarrass him. But what's going to be with the Malach? What's going to be with Mashiach? What's it saying? She's carrying around Malchus Yehuda, she's carrying around David HaMelech, Shlomo HaMelech, she's carrying around Melech HaMashiach. No. Klal Yisrael's going to need Melech HaMashiach eventually. What's it saying? That's the Eibush is going to worry about. How Mashiach is going to come about. That's his problem. I don't have to stolz to the Eibush to Mashiach. Rem Chatzol Yamin Lavudu Makamach. She looked in Shulchan Aruch, and Shulchan Aruch says, Mutter, Noach leil Adam sheyimtza atzmo l'tov kirshin ha'esh v'al yalmes p'nei chavei b'rabim. That was her Shulchan Aruch. I'm Mashiach. She knows she's carrying around Mashiach. Doesn't make a difference. Medaf Tom was Medaf Tom. Plus the Eibush Medaf Tom, he'll take you. Same Yisod. Yisod we see again. Moshe Rabbeinu was sent to redeem Klal Yisrael. And the Eibush tells him, if you're not going to redeem them, there's nobody to take them out. You're the goyim. Moshe Rabbeinu was born a goyim. So you take Ram, he's the goyim. And it was clear that you are the chosen one, so to say. And Moshe Rabbeinu tells Eibush, I'm not going. I'm not going. Aaron was the Navi till then in Klal Yisrael. He was the leader of Klal Yisrael. And if I take upon myself this shlichus, I'm pegay in the covenant of Aaron HaKohen. Pegay in the covenant of Aaron HaKohen. Einat HaGoylam, Einat HaGoylam. Okay, Mitzrayim already 210 years. They'll be in Mitzrayim another 210 years. Avrach Manas of Klal Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu told Eibush, Ich darf tam for your state in Shulchan Aruch. You can't do this to a person. I can't do this to Aaron HaKohen. I can't move into his territory. Plus it's saying, you may not to go. Who's going to be going? You'll worry about it, Eibush. That's not what I have to worry about. Eibush has to worry. I have to deal with what I have to deal with. Brisker Rav, it was the time when they brought over the magic carpet, so to say. They brought over the children, the parents and the children, the families from Yemen, from Taiman. It was Yadua that the government representatives were standing there, and they forced them to cut off their payas. They forced them to be Michal Shabbos, and they were really, the mamsh was a Shas Hashmat. Skrov had Gevaldigkeit was nefesh. It was literally a shmat. Jan Galinsky said he went there. They sent him to save some of the kids, and he was beaten up by the government representatives. And the old Teimani Yidden who came with their prayers, they were screaming, "Necha te'enu ka'ilum and galina ma'atzenu." They came to Golas to Eretz Yisrael, and they cut off their payers, and they didn't give them jobs unless they worked on Shabbos. So somebody was speaking to the Brisker Rav. So he said to the Brisker Rav, Hakol Kedai, it's Kedai. If this is what we have to go through for the Schalta de Geula, then it's Kedai. It's Kedai to go through this for the Schalta de Geula. That's what he told the Brisker Rav. This guy didn't know who he was talking about. Evidently, he didn't know who he was speaking to. Because that's not what you say to the Brisker Rav. So the Brisker Rav says like this. It's not kedai to over even one issa the Torah but Roshchalta the Geula. And it's not kedai to over even one issa the Torah for the Geula Shleim of the Korban. Not only not for that, it's not kedai for Roshchalta, even if the Geula Shleim would only come about by being over an issa, we wouldn't do it. We push it off. There would be no Mashiach. He says, the Brisker Rav said, I'll bring you a ride. The Gemara says in Sanhedrin, Rabbi Shua ben Levi met Eliyahu Navi, and asked him, when is Mashiach coming? When is Mashiach? Where is Mashiach? What's the Yavim Mashiach? He said, where's Mashiach coming? So he says, go ask him. Go ask him. So he said, where am I going to find him? So he says, he's Yoshev Pesach Ha'ir. He's sitting in the Shara Ir of Rome. It's a special Ir of Rome. And in that Shara Ir, there's a lot of aniyim, a lot of poor people who are sick. And they sit there on the floor. It's like homeless people sitting down on the floor. And he's sitting down on the floor with them. You'll see him there. He says, how will I recognize who he is? There's so many of them sitting around over there on the floor. How will I recognize him? So Yoel Navi gave him a simon. He's bandaged up, but they're all bandaged up. They all have bandages. They're all body wounds, and they're all bandaged up. It says everybody there, when they clean their dressing, they take off all the bandages, they clean themselves, and then they put back on all the bandages. He is not going to be like that. He takes off one bandage at a time. He takes off, let's say he has a bandage in his hand, he takes it off, cleans his hand, and puts it back on. The arm, next hand, he's the one that's taken off one dressing at a time, cleans it and puts it back on. But everybody else takes off all the dressings at once. I asked him, why does he do that like that? Because it might come time for Mashiach. He might get a notice from Shemayim that the time has come for Mashiach. Rambam says, mixes chayvus and mixes schuyas. When Klal Yisrael has an amount of chayvus and schuyas, at that moment Mashiach would have to come. So you might get a telegram, now's the time. See, and if all his dressings are off, he'll have to put back all the dressing. It will take a half hour. He'll miss the time. So he only does one at a time. So the second he gets the thing, he'll put on the dressing and run. Because the time of Mashiach is it can come once, for a minute, and then the mixes chayvus and mixes chayvus will change, and we'll lose that moment. So he has to be ready on the moment. He doesn't have that luxury of wait, I can't come now. In 15 minutes around, I'll come. He can't do that. He has to be ready when you call. So he only takes off one dressing at a time. As I state in the Gemara. But this girl said there's a Gemara in Eruvin that says a shaila of yesh tchum l'mayla masara. There's a issa tchum. There's a issa to go chutz l'tchum. There's a shaila. There's tchum l'mayla masara. If somebody's traveling above 10, is there an issa tchum or not? One says, what's the nafkamina? Is this a tchum l'mayla masara or not? We're not walking around l'mayla masara. We're walking down on the street. One said the shaila is Mashiach can come on Shabbos. If there's a Issa Tchuma L'mayla Masara, then Mashiach can't come. Mashiach's going to be going L'mayla Masara. And he can't come on Shabbos. He won't be able to come on Shabbos. So this girl said, but finally the time for Mashiach came. The Shaiman time for Mashiach came. We're waiting thousands of years, and finally the time for Mashiach came. It happened to be, it came on Shabbos. So Mashiach, here's the notice. It's time. Now's the time. Mashiach sits down looking Shulchan Aruch and says, Yesh tchum l'mayla masara. I'm not going. I'm not going. No, you don't go. If you don't go now, we'll sit and go. It's another 1,000 years. It's by the minute. Every minute it changes. This is the moment. We'll miss the moment. We'll miss the whole opportunity. Tchumen is only Issa Drabbana. Like Madame Tchumen is only Issa Drabbana. Actually, we should be over Issa Drabbana in order to make the Gula Shlema. Maybe we should get about the Issa Tchumen and come. The Gemara says no. The decision of Mashiach at that moment will be, I'm not going. So Risk Rav says, we're not over an Issa for Aschal to the Gula, and we're not even going to be over an Issa Drabbana for the Gula Shlema. I wasn't time. David should worry about that. When Mashiach comes, he has to know the Geula has to come through Shulchan Aruch. If it's not Ois gehalten, if it doesn't stem with Shulchan Aruch, you look at the halach and it says you don't come then we'll push off the Geula for another 1,000 years until the time is ready to come. Moshe Feinstein was once by a good convention. and they were waiting him to come in. There were thousands of people waiting him to come in, and he was walking through the hall. Like the minig is, like you see at a chas in the bayit, people are making a minyan in the hall. People making a minyan in the hall. And Moshe is walking toward the hall, and he sees a minyan people davening Shemona Esrei, and he can't go by. He can't walk in front of it, and he's davening Shemona Esrei. So Moshe Rivlin, the Rishleim Shver, tells him, the Olam Vart after a Shiva. There's 1,000 people are waiting for a Shiva. The Olam Vart. So Moshe says, in Yiddish, du siehst nicht keine Wand da? You don't see there's a wall in front of me? There's a wall right here. So the Rebbe says, I don't see the wall. He says, ich seh a Wand. There's a wall in front of me. Ich kann nicht gehen. Es steht da a Wand. 1,000 Menschen warten, aber steht da a Wand. I can't get through. But the Moshe said, the Shulchan Aruch was a wall. I couldn't get through. With this we can understand another union here in the Megillus Esther. I'll read you a Chazal, beautiful Chazal. La'achar she'asa eitz, after Haman made his eitz chamisha mama, Holach Haman eitz from Mordechai. Haman went to Mordechai. He went to Mordechai's Beis Medrash. U'motze she'yoshev Beis Medrash v'atinoikis yoshev lefanov. And Moshe is learning with them. 22,000 talmidim. V'sakim b'mosneim. They're all wearing sackcloth. V'oiskim b'toyr. V'yitzayikin aboichem. And they were screaming and crying. Umana Isam, and Haman counted them. Umatza Sham Chav Beis Elaf Tinoikis. He found 22,000 small children. Tinoikis Shal Beis Rav, not small children. Tell me. Hishkil Aleim Shal Shalosh Shal Barzel. He put chains on them. V'hifkil Aleim Shayrim, and he put guards. V'amar L'mocha Ereg Eila Tinoikis Tchil. Tomorrow I'm going to kill these Tinoikis first. V'achikach Etla Es Mordechai, and after that I'm going to hang Mordechai. The mothers of these children were bringing lechem and mayim, and they were telling them, our children, please eat and drink before you die tomorrow. You shouldn't die from starvation. They were already starving. They were already not eating for 3 days. They put their hands on the sefer. And they swore, and they swore, we're not going to eat, we're not going to drink, we're going to die from the tightness. That's what it takes, we'll die. Everybody started crying. Till their crying went up to Shemayim. The Eibishter heard they were crying. At 2 o'clock in the morning. At that moment, the Eibishter had Rachmanis, and the Eibishter asked, Ma kol gadol? What's this? All this noise I hear? Shani Shemei Kikdim v'Tlaim. Are those sheep? Are they lambs and sheep that are crying? Ahmed Moshe Rabbeinu Alfei Kadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe Rabbeinu said Alfei Kadosh Baruch Hu, "B'Bnei Shalaylam, Le'Gedim v'Le'Tlaim." They're not animals. Elektane Amcha, Shehem Shruyim B'Tainas Hayoyim Shloisha Yom Shloisha Leilas. These are the Tanim Amcha, the Tanai Shel Beis Rav of your nation, who are fasting already for 3 days. U'Lamacher Ratza Oyev L'Shoichtam Kigdim v'Tlaim. And tomorrow Haman wants to shech them out like animals. He took the Igeris that had the verdict of clear of death. The Eibishter tore up the Gzeira. That's when we say slichus on Tanis Esther. The slichas basically are a summary of Motzar Chazals in the Medrash of Esther. So this Chazal is also brought. wrote down like this. Mizem is Elu Bnei Asana Rabbanim Kulat Sa'akim. From this side and this side, the Tanakis Shabbarama were screaming. V'tal Shavasim El Hashem. I'm reading this lichus, and the tefillah went up to Hashem. Kol lekol rinon kibol lefonai. When the Eibishter heard this tumult, shol lefonai, he asked, Uma kol atzoin hazeh ba'oznai. Ma kol atzoin hazeh ba'oznai. What is this kol atzoin? Roya Hashiva, Roya is Moshe Rabbeinu Hashiva, Hem Tanei Kodesh Zera. They're not kol atzoin, unless the Tanai Shal Bashar. This slichus is referring to this chazal. The lashon over here in this slichus, how he reads the chazal is Ma kol atzoin hazeh ba'oznai. Ume kol atzoin ba'oznai. What is this kol atzoin that I hear? It's interesting that this lashon of Me kol atzoin, that is the same lashon that Shmuel Hanavi told Shalom Melech. When Shmuel Hanavi came, so Shalom Melech did not kill out the son. Vayashkim Shmuel lekras Shol ba'boker vayigul Shmuel leim Rabo Shah HaKarmela. Hine matzav lei vayisav lei vayavi Shmuel Shol v'yam Shol Baruch Atah Elokei Yisrael HaKamoisis Dvar Hashem. You were Mekayim Dvar Hashem. Vayam Shmuel I was Mekayim Dvar Hashem. Vayam Shmuel umeh kol hatzayin hazeh ba'oznai. Umeh kol hatzayin hazeh ba'oznai. V'kol ha'bach ha'neifi shemei. The same lashon that was the chet of Shol, umeh kol hatzayin hazeh ba'oznai, that seems to be got fixed up, was mesukin with this kol hatzayin. That kol hatzayin keneged this kol hatzayin. It seems that the Playtime from the Slichas learned that this kol hatzayin, me kol hatzayin ba'oznai, was a taken on that kol hatzayin. What do these two kol hatzayins have to do with each other? I think the pshat is, what was the cheshbon of Shol HaMelech? The Eibishter told him to kill out Amalek and destroy everything, kill out Amalek. What did he do? The real fat calves, the fat behemoths, the best stuff. He said, you know what? That I have to say. They'll be good for kabbalas. We'll bring kabbalas today, they'll be good for kabbalas. We're saving it for kabbalas. It was a good cheshbon. Why should they, eventually they're all going to be killed anyways, the behemoths, but let's at least save these for kabbalas. These will make beautiful kabbalas. So Shmuel tells Shaul, "Hachefetz Hashem ba'olos zachem kishmoya b'kol Hashem." The Eibishter wants kabbalas. He wants you to listen to him. Hine shemoya, listening mizevach toiv is much better than a zevach. Lahakshiv, to listen to Eibishter mechel v'elam, is better than a chel v'elam. V'yoyim Shol al Shmuel chatasi. I realized I did a chet. Ki avarti es pi Hashem ve'es dvarech. I was over to pi Hashem. He was over to pi Hashem. I think what Shmuel was telling him here was, you made a cheshbon. Instead of killing them, let's bring kabbalas. It's a zayna nachas ruach. Let's bayach l'Hashem begilgul. Let's bayach ba'olos Hashem begilgul. Let's bayach l'Hashem b'lekecha begilgul. But be a gval gezach. Klal Yisrael bring kabbalas. And thanks to the Eibishter for making us beat the zayna avodas Hashem. So Shmuel says, yeah, but that's not what the Eibishter said. The Eibishter said to kill them. You made a cheshbon that it might be better to bring kabbalas. Hachefetz Hashem ba'olos zachem kishmoya b'kol Hashem. If you looked in Shulchan Aruch, it would have said kill them. So you made a cheshbon. I'll bring kabbalas. In a shemoya mizevach toiv, it's better to listen to the Eibishter than shat kabbalas. Lahakshiv mechel v'ei. Better to listen than bring a chelav on the mizbeach. V'yoyim Shmuel Shol ki avarti es pi Hashem. I made a cheshbon. Shol said, I made a mistake. That wasn't the pi Hashem. The halach in Shulchan Aruch was kill them. I thought there would be revachim, Klal Yisrael would be makro kabbalas, but that wasn't the pi Hashem. I think that's the shot over here, why these medical science have to do with each other. There's an interesting part of this marriage that I made a little fast. It says, the children's mothers brought them lechem mayim, eat and drink, before you die tomorrow. Don't die of hunger. It's an interesting thing. Before you die tomorrow, eat now so you won't die of hunger. You won't die of hunger before you die tomorrow. You won't die of hunger before you die tomorrow. And they refused. Well, what did the mothers want here? They wanted to make sure they don't die of hunger before they die tomorrow. I'll tell you a story. There was, I forgot which Rebbe, the Chassidim came over to the Rebbe and said, they asked the Rebbe, what does it mean to eat? What does it mean to eat? L'shem Shemayim. What's it mean to eat L'shem Shemayim? So the Rebbe says, I have one chassid who eats L'shem Shemayim. You'll go to this and this city, you'll go there for Shabbos, you'll knock on the door, and you'll ask, can I stay for Shabbos? Don't say anything, just, could we be your guests for Shabbos? So they go to this place, and they come to an inn, they knock on the door, there's an innkeeper there, and they tell him, we don't have where to stay for Shabbos, can we stay by you for Shabbos? So the guy says, for sure, come in, he comes to stay with them for Shabbos. He takes them to shul Friday night, they come back to the Suda Friday night, they come to the Suda. He makes Kiddush. He gives them each from the Kiddush. He fills up his becher, drinks up wine, and fills up more. He drinks the whole bottle of wine. He drinks the whole bottle of wine, the balabas. Makes a moitzi. He cuts up a piece of challah for one, puts up a piece of challah for that. The rest of the challah he eats. Completely. They're looking at this guy, the Rebbe sent us here for a guy who's eating L'shem Shemayim. I think we're at the wrong address. Comes the fish, he gets a piece of fish, his wife brings him a whole fish, polishes it over. Okay. The Rebbe goes up, but he sings the Semiris, and the wife brings soup. He gets a bowl of soup. This guy gets the whole pot with kneidlach and this, and he eats it all up, polishes it all up. That's a main course. His wife brings out, chicken. He gets a quarter chicken. A piece of kugel, some salad. This guy gets a whole chicken. There's a ganze kugel, the whole plate of salad, with a whole bowl of salad. He just eats it, polishes it all. Comes to dessert, they get an ice cream. He gets ice cream. He takes the rest of the whole thing of ice cream and eats it up. They don't know, no, but the Rebbe sent us. It's probably tomorrow morning. We'll see. Tomorrow morning. They come after shul tomorrow morning, they come after Shabbos to eat. And we sit down to eat. The guy makes Kiddush, a bottle of wine. Challah, a ganze challah. Fish, same thing. Chopped liver, guy eats a whole bowl of chopped liver. Chopped eggs. Everything. Comes out, chalk, they get a bowl of chalk, this guy eats up a whole pot of chalk, mid kishkin, mid kugel, everything. He just kept on eating, non-stop. So they say the Rebbe meant Shalashudas. Shalashudas, that's Rav, the Rebbe meant Shalashudas. There were no leftovers. The wife had cooked special Shalashudas. Come Shalashudas, no chamol, there's all the time. Everything. Fish. No internet. The guy doesn't stop eating. They decided that they had the wrong address, but one more thing. If should the Rebbe meant Lachmal. The Rebbe meant Lachmal. So usually in my house I eat the leftovers from Lachmal. Over there, right after Shabbos, the wife has to start cooking Lachmal. The fridge was empty. And she cooked up a storm. Comes Lachmal. They each get a piece of fish. The same thing over again. Goes one. No way. So, okay, we missed the boat, like, in the wrong address. They get up the next morning, and they're about to leave, and they ask the guy, we had a great Shabbos. We have one question. one question. Why do you eat like this? What's with you? Why do you eat like this? We never saw anybody eat like this in our life. Why do you eat like this? I'll tell you why you eat like this. He says, my father owned this inn before him. My father owned it. He was a frail person. He had a heart condition. He was frail. He was weak. Once a whole bunch of Gedolim came in and they asked for some whiskey. They sat down by the table, bring some whiskey, and then they asked again and again until they were drunk. The Gedolim were drunk. And then they call my father over and they say one of them was wearing a necklace with its sailor. So they tell my father, kiss the sailor. Kiss the sailor. So my father said, no, I'm not going to kiss the sailor. So he says, if you don't kiss the sailor, we're going to go out, we're going to hang you by the tree, which is in front of the inn. We're going to hang you by the tree. So my father says, I'm not going to kiss the sailor. So they start walking with him outside to hang him. But my father was a frail person. He was so overwhelmed and so nesragish, he had a heart attack and he died before he was able to be hung. Before he was able to die al Kiddush Hashem, he died. And he wasn't zeicha to die al Kiddush Hashem. So he says to these people, I want to make sure if this thing ever happens to me, I'm healthy, I'm gesund. So I won't die before they hang me. I'll be able to be hung. That's why I eat so much, because I want to be healthy. To be gesund, I won't die before they hang me. I'll be able to get outside and be hung and die al Kiddush Hashem. So they understood that the Rebbe had the right address. He's eating l'shem shamayim. I think that's the pshat over here. This is what the mothers wanted. They were supposed to die the next day al Kiddush Hashem. Haman was supposed to kill 22,000 people, 20,000 kids. The parents would tell, the mother would tell them, eat and drink before you die tomorrow. So you won't die of hunger. Because if you die of hunger, you won't be zeicha to die al Kiddush Hashem. And we want you to die. If you're going to die, we want you to die al Kiddush Hashem. So please eat, so you'll have kaya to be killed tomorrow al Kiddush Hashem. That's what the parents said. That's what the mother wanted. So what did they do? It's a good cheshbon. Mother made a good cheshbon. What did they do? They put their hand on the sefer. We're not going to eat. We're not going to drink. We're going to go die at Kiddush Hashem. We'll try to die at Kiddush Hashem. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're going to die before you get to Kiddush Hashem. You'll die of hunger. The mother had a good cheshbon. You'll be a carbon to the Eibishter. You'll be a kapara for Klal Yisrael. There'll be 22,000 karbanas for Klal Yisrael. So the kids say back to the mother, yeah, but Mordechai was going to Titus. We're not allowed to eat. Mordechai was going to Titus. The mother says, yeah, you might have been going to Titus, but because of this Titus, if you listen to the Titus, you listen to Mordechai, you won't die al Kiddush Hashem. So the kid said, yeah, but karbanas for the Eibishter, that's not my problem. I have to listen to Yishtei Shulchan Aruch. Mordechai said, Mordechai was going to Titus and Klal, so we're not allowed to eat. I will lose dying al Kiddush Hashem, so we'll lose dying al Kiddush Hashem. That's not what we have to look at Shulchan Aruch. In Shulchan Aruch state that we have to fast, and that's what Mordechai was going to. Which is literally what Shmuel Hanavi told Kshol. Shmoya toiv mizevach. Shmoya Hashem toiv mizevach. Listening to the Eibush is better than a carbon. I won't have the kabbalas. Yeah, but avartis pi Hashem. So you won't have the kabbalas. But by bringing kabbalas, you avartis pi Hashem. That's how the Eibush wants. So they said the same thing to the mothers. Avada we might die. We not make it to be a carbon. Abu Nalari. I'd rather die and not be in carbon than Ovid Shulchan Aruch. So this Mekal Atzayin was a kapara for that Mekal Atzayin. Same thing. Okay?
Good.